Welcome to the Technisoft Learning Centre. Advanced Scheduling is a feature-rich add-on module for the Service Manager desktop program, which is designed to make resource scheduling a breeze. Advanced Scheduling is a very powerful tool offering great flexibility and visibility. It allows for maximum resource utilization, whether that resource is an employee, subcontractor, or piece of equipment belonging to the company. This video will run through the key features of advanced scheduling, plus demonstrate how to use it most efficiently. By the end of this video, you will be wondering how you have gone this long without advanced scheduling in your business. To be more specific, we will be covering the user interface, including menus, toolbars, icons, docking windows, and colouring. The views. See the same appointment data in different ways. Views include calendar, job list, resource schedule, job query, and routing views. Scheduling. Create, modify, move, and delete appointments. The options application. Customize defaults and behavior. Before we begin, a few housekeeping matters need to be addressed. In advanced scheduling, when we refer to an appointment, it is also known as a time entry or estimate in the Service Manager core program. A job is a type of document created through the Service Manager document entry program. Appointments are job related, and they're scheduling personal time out for the resource through a non-job appointment. I will explain this more soon. And lastly, security settings from within Service Manager control which users can access advanced scheduling and their permissions. For our video, we will be using the admin user who has all permissions. We open advanced scheduling through the desktop shortcut created during installation or through the Sage 300 desktop. Advanced Scheduling opens to the default Startup Calendar view. In our case, the Calendar Day view. To switch to another view, we use these view buttons on the navigation pane. We will be discussing each of these views in detail soon. There is a wide selection of functions and features available in the menus and toolbars of Advanced Scheduling. Toolbars and icons will hide if not applicable to the view currently used. Hover the mouse over an icon to display the button's description. Individual toolbars can be dragged and dropped to any space of the toolbar window by pointing to the 4 dots on the left end of the toolbar until the 4-headed arrow appears. They also have the availability to float by dropping them anywhere within the Advanced Scheduling display or even outside on the PC. Customizations and even a whole new individual toolbar can be created by right-clicking and using the Customize window. Settings are remembered on exiting the program, but are not remembered after upgrading to new versions of Advanced Scheduling. For larger companies with many resources, the calendars of any system can become overwhelming and difficult to manage, which is why Advanced Scheduling has provided the extensive range of docking windows and viewing options which allow you to list, filter, or highlight only those resources and appointments with which you wish to work. Docking windows by default to the right and bottom of Advanced Scheduling are shortcut tabs and either provide information only or are filters for the data being displayed in Advanced Scheduling. How these work is flyouts such as the current selection and job equipment are purely there to give you information only. Billing, tasks, and estimates allow you to filter information to return results in list form, and from there you can drill into view, or in such as the task flyout you can drag the listed result into the calendar, which will automatically open the Add Appointment screen with pre-filled data based on those task details. The resource filters, by default located on the right-hand side of the Advanced Scheduling display, can be used to only show specific resources, or perhaps only those resources that belong to one or more particular service centre, work group, or skill set. The choice is yours to find the method that is most suited to your preferred style of appointment management. The windows can automatically hide, be pinned in place, relocated, or float. Two docking windows can be pinned side by side or one on top of the other. A great little shortcut to get the resource filters up is Ctrl, Shift and R. It then shows the filters as tabs on one panel. These filters make scheduling appointments easy, as you can drag directly from the filter to create appointments for all resources assigned to that filter. Let's go to a clear day so you can easily see what's going on. Say we have a job which needs all of our A electrical team. We simply highlight and drag it into the calendar display. An Add Appointment window appears for our first resource, so we can enter the job details. Once we have everything set up, we select OK. Advanced Scheduling saves the appointment and raises a new Add Appointment window for the second A electrical team member, with the same details as we entered from the first appointment. If this appointment doesn't need changing, we select OK and repeat selecting OK until all employees' appointments have been created. If any of these docking windows are closed using the cross button, you can get them back on screen by selecting the View menu, Other Windows option, and selecting the individual filter which was closed. You can reset all filters, toolbar customizations, options, user interface customizations, and more by selecting the Tools Reset Interface option. Advanced Scheduling must close to take effect of these changes, so we will not continue with this right now. If filters are being applied, then there are a few active filter indicators to remind you that some information may be hidden from the display. The status bar will contain the word filters and show icons for the relevant filters being applied. The calendar options will also change to red text when filters are active, as another reminder. The status bar also informs the user what colouring is being applied to the appointments. At this point, it is based on priority, but you can change colouring quickly by clicking on this status bar notification, or by using the docking window, where you can further customize the color selected and pattern to apply by right-clicking and selecting Edit Pattern. So that sums up the user interface and the menus, toolbars, docking windows. As we continue on, we will cover more of the toolbar icons and shortcuts. But for now, let's dive deeper into the views and how information is presented on screen. Calendar, Job List, and Resource Schedule views are the three pivot views designed for scheduling. Calendar view is based on the popular Outlook style calendar. Calendar Day view displays the resources along the top and times down the left of the window. You can change the time slot interval by direct selecting using the Go To Date toolbar time slot options, or use the Zoom In and Out buttons on the toolbar. You can also zoom in and out by holding the Control key and using the scroll wheel on your mouse. Move to different dates using the Previous and Next buttons next to the display date, the date picker from the Explorer bar, or the up, down and drop down arrows next to the date field in the Go to Date toolbar, followed by the Go button. This toolbar also allows you to move forward and back 1, 7 or 31 days by using these buttons. So that was the day calendar control. Calendar view is so extensive as it also contains the calendar controls for week, month and timeline views, plus a pretty nifty summary view. But before we go any further, I will explain these grouping buttons on the calendar view toolbar, as they affect how the appointments are displayed on screen in all calendar views. You can view the calendars with no grouping, which means the resource columns are removed and appointments appear by time only. Group by resources with scheduled appointments will remove anyone from the display who does not have appointments scheduled for the time period selected. View calendar with all resources will show everyone, regardless of whether they have appointments or not. So getting back to our calendar controls, with week view we can see the resource columns have been divided into the weekdays with appointments in list form from earliest to latest. Changing the selection to work week will display the calendar looking similar to day view, but the resources get listed multiple times in the span as we scroll right through the work week days. Month view displays resource columns and rows for the weeks of the month. From the day, week or month views, double-clicking any appointment will drill into it, opening the Edit Appointment window. Double-clicking any unallocated time in week or month view will open the default drill-down calendar view set in Options, in this case the day view. We will cover the options a little later in this video. Next on our calendar view is the timeline view, which swaps the resources and time columns and rows over. So now we have time running as columns along the top and the resources are our rows. I normally like to switch to ID instead of name for this, as it buys some real estate. Generally, we only see one appointment in full in this view, and any conflicting appointments show hashed underneath. You can toggle to the conflicting appointment using this arrow to the right of the row, or else you can make the row wider by dragging the border or using these up and down buttons. This button is a best fit and aims to fit the most resources in the display. We can squeeze or extend our time columns by using these plus and minus buttons. And finally, our last calendar control is the Summary tab. Once dates are entered, our data is loaded into the grid based on the various selected criteria. This view is very useful for resource utilization and quickly grabbing a snapshot of information which would normally only be found through running various reports from the desktop program. The columns and rows provide totals for the searched period. Double-click to be taken to the drill-down calendar view for that resource and day. Labour billing summary information is the same as that shown in the billing docking window and displays the value of the actuals which have been retrieved to their jobs. So you can see just by playing around in the summary view just how much information is at your fingertips, and you can ensure you are utilising your resources the way you want to. The next scheduling view we will look at is the job list view. To populate our job list, we select options from the Explorer bar. This view can take a little bit longer to load as all the job information is gathered. Columns displaying in the job list are configurable by right-clicking on the column headers and choosing Column Selector. This will open our Options application where we can include or exclude fields and even move them up and down the list. We can select any listed job to have details appear in the Assigned Resources window below. The layout here is job-orientated as opposed to resource-orientated calendar views. The job header, phase, and the assigned resources show in a tree-style view. If you need to find more resources, you can click on the Find Available Resources button, specify the resources you want to see, and open up the Available Resources window. Notice how the appointment colouring is maintained through this view here as well. To assign more resources to the job, simply click and drag the resource up from the Available Resources window. You can automatically add an appointment matching the phase duration here, if you want to. As per the calendar view, you can use the resources flyouts to assign. You can add a single resource or all members of a particular work group or skill to the job by dragging it. Appointments for other jobs appear ghosted in the Assigned Resources window. The Job List toolbar gives you some shortcuts to clear the selected job or clear all jobs. You can also opt to show out of hours or weekends patterned in the view using the Gantt View toolbar options. The third scheduling view is Resource Schedule, which appears similar to the Available Resources window of the Job List view, as it displays all resources and the appointments in timeline form. This view is also similar to the Timeline Calendar view, but the snapping of appointments time is more flexible, as you can see the start and stop grid lines when we are moving the appointments. There are some buttons on the bottom of the resource list here and in the Job List Assigned Resources window for time entry completion information. A red line appears under the appointment to show the related actuals. You can have actual timing or percentage complete. Routing view allows you to list and map the day's job route for resources. Resources are listed by selecting the Resources buttons on the top of the Explorer bar. You can also use your resource flyouts to drag and drop the resources into the list. This button means that only resources with jobs will appear in the list. Deselecting this will list all resources. Clicking on a resource will display the proposed map points and job details in the job route list. If subsequent jobs have the same address, then the address will be greyed out and a map point not counted, as no travel is required between them. Modifying the start and finish points will update the job route list. This is only applicable when valid addresses exist for the resources' home addresses and service centres. Clicking Load Map will open the mapping window as specified in the Options application. Google Map or Bing settings can be entered there. If using Bing, then a Bing Maps key is required, and more information on this can be found in the Bing Maps portal. The final view is Job Query. This view allows the user to list jobs based on various criteria, including dates, status, priority, skill, and exceptions. Any existing saved queries from within Service Manager's Document Query program will also be included in Advanced Scheduling's Query function. There is a shortcut to open Document Query to see or edit particulars or create a new query to run in Advanced Scheduling. Selecting Go will populate the results list, and an individual result can then be shown in the Resource Schedule or Job List view by right-clicking on the job. You can pull some or all results into the Job List view by selecting the Query option inside the Job List view. Job Query, just like Job List view, you can customize the columns to suit. Let's dive deeper into scheduling our appointments now. We will explain and demonstrate the various mechanisms through which an appointment can be added, edited, and deleted within Advanced Scheduling. Returning to the day calendar view now, we can easily schedule a new appointment for a job to any active resource by clicking on the Start Time block and dragging down to our End Time block. Right-click and select Add Appointment. Enter the job details and save. To add someone else to this job, we simply right-click and copy and paste the appointment as desired. A new job can be added on the fly from within the Add Appointment window by selecting the New button next to the document field in the Job Details tab. This will take you into the Service Manager document entry program to allow you to create the job. You can use the Finder to search for an existing job, or use the binocular button to open the document entry search feature. If you select an existing job, you can select the up arrow to open that job in document entry. The Dispatch tab is where you can set the dispatch date for the appointment and have it appear in the Resources mobile device when running Field Connect. The Time Entry tab is where you specify the start and end times for the appointment, and is where any actuals will be listed. Notations, just like in document entry, can include text, documents, photos, website addresses, and email addresses. You can specify whether to have the notation appear on postings just like in document entry. Keep in mind, these are appointment notations and will not appear as job header notations. Appointments with notations gain the pin icon on our calendar display. The first notation line can appear in the tooltip as label text or in the current selection window by adding the field in the Options application. Increase or decrease the appointment duration by clicking on the end of the appointment and dragging down to resize. The appointment will snap to the time block, so this is where it is important to see what increments your calendar is displaying in. Moving an appointment to a different resource is done by clicking the appointment and dragging to the new resource column. Say an employee calls in sick, you can drag their whole day's worth of appointments and move them in one go to an alternative employee. A message will appear asking to unassign the resource if they have no other appointments for that phase of the job. What this means is whether you want to remove the resource from the phase or keep them assigned but with no appointments at this point. We can add a non-job related appointment to block a resource from being scheduled. Enter in a notation as this will appear as the appointment label. This is useful for personal appointments. Split an appointment by right-clicking and selecting Split. You can allocate more or less time to each side of the split appointments. Delete appointments by clicking and selecting Delete or pressing the Delete key on the keyboard or the Delete toolbar button. The same functions apply in Job List and Resource Schedule views. You can create new appointments by holding the Shift key down and dragging along the resources line. Drag and drop appointments between the assigned resources. Extend the appointment time by grabbing the end of the appointment and dragging it. In the Gantt views, we do not have the time increments in blocks like the calendar view, so we use the snap buttons to cut or extend our appointment to the closest snap point. For example, by using these snap buttons here, we will set our snap point to 30 minutes. See the 30 displayed in the button next to this? Moving or extending an appointment here, we have the red guidelines to show our exact time. If we stop it at the 2:23 mark, it will snap the appointment end time to 2:30. If you are scheduling and an appointment conflicts with another, you have the choice of selecting how advanced scheduling will handle the conflict. It can either allow it and not warn you, warn of the conflict, or not allow the conflict. Conflict settings are maintained in the Service Manager General Options under the Time Entry tab, but can be viewed in the Advanced Scheduling options. After the scheduling has been done for the day, you may wish to print the daily appointment listing and email it to the employee, or print the work order job card. The options available under this print icon change according to the view and what has been selected from the display. Actuals can be added, edited, and deleted through the Time Entry tab of the appointment. Once actuals have been retrieved or completed, it is not possible to modify, including delete them, from Advanced Scheduling. There is a Start Recorder shortcut button on the toolbar for starting an actual recording. You can see a recording icon has been added to this appointment. And if we use our dimming toolbar icon, we can dim time entries that are not recording. The other buttons here dim time entries with no actuals, dim time entries due for retrieval, and dim those which have been retrieved. The recorder feature can also be accessed by right-clicking on the appointment and selecting the recorder option. Notice when I make these next few selections how the toolbar icons adapt to include the same menu options here. We can stop the recording from here and post the actual to make it due for retrieval. We have the ability to retrieve the actual directly, and we can either specify an existing billing group or add a new group. Finishing up, we will now run through the options application and pick out some key features to allow advanced scheduling to be customized just to your liking. General options on this tab control the overall style and layout of advanced scheduling, as well as certain default durations and behavior. When you double-click on an appointment, you can decide what tab to open up to on the Edit Appointment window. You might want it directly on the Time Entry tab, for instance. Calendar. Options on this tab control the display of various elements of the different calendars, as well as selecting which calendar is shown at startup. We have our default drill down calendar options here, as mentioned earlier in this video. Gantt. Options on this tab control the display of various Gantt scheduler controls, as well as the snap durations to appear in our snap toolbar icon. Routing. Options on this tab control which mapping method is to be used within routing views, as discussed earlier. Labels. This shows what properties are appearing on the tooltip as well as on the appointment labels. Include, exclude, or move positions as desired. Simply drag the property down into the time entry label to have it appear. Data. Options on this tab control the data loading behavior. SQL Direct Database querying is recommended to avoid database integrity errors. Simply add the database and server credentials and test connection. You will see the SQL icon in the status bar on the left-hand side if you're using this option. List setup. Control columns which are visible within the various lists and docking windows. Similar to the Labels tab, you can include, exclude, or move up and down as required. Appointment colouring. If you want specific colourings, you can edit these by double-clicking to open the Modify Pattern window. You can export these colour file settings and import into other instances of advanced scheduling to keep consistency, or import them back after an upgrade. File locations. Names and locations of files created and or used by advanced scheduling. Log files are normally only required during support activities when dealing with Technisoft technical support. If you love your advanced scheduling settings and do not want these to be removed when you perform an upgrade of the product, then you can export the settings file and import once the upgrade has been performed. Now that concludes our advanced scheduling overview video. In summary, Technisoft Service Manager's Advanced Scheduling add-on module is designed to give you a clear picture of the utilization and billing information for all your employee, internal equipment, and subcontractor resources. The visually appealing interface employs color and a plethora of filters and viewing options to help you grade your appointments on a range of criteria and then manage those appointments as necessary. This makes advanced scheduling suitable for all businesses regardless of the number of employees they have. Advanced scheduling can be customized to suit everybody and every business. Most importantly, advanced scheduling taps into the rich repository of Service Manager information so that you never miss a thing. For more information on advanced scheduling or on any of Technisoft's other products, please refer to more training media located on our website.